6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The government has decided to allow the proposed Azadi March if it takes place within the ambit of the law and the Constitution. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, has urged Japan to play its role for the restoration of the fundamental rights of the Kashmiri people in Indian-occupied Kashmir. Pakistan and India are likely to sign an agreement pertaining to the opening of the Kartarpur corridor tomorrow. The Federal Minister for Economic Affairs says Pakistan is committed to complete all the points in action plan of the Financial Action Task Force by next year. The Saudi King has hailed the efforts of Prime Minister Imran Khan for the enhancement of bilateral cooperation and regional peace. A fresh round of intra-Afghan peace talks will be held in China next week. And now the news in detail. The government has decided to allow the proposed Azadi March if it takes place within the ambit of the law and the Constitution. The decision to this effect was taken at a meeting between the Prime Minister Imran Khan and the government's negotiating team led by the Defence Minister Parvez Khattak in Islamabad today. It was decided that the government, with its firm belief in upholding the democratic ideals, would allow the proposed Azadi March if it takes place within the ambit of the law and the Constitution as interpreted in the decisions of the Supreme Court and the Islamabad High Court. Prime Minister Imran Khan has sought details about the health of former Prime Minister Mohammad Nawaz Sharif from the Punjab government. This was stated by the Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Firdaus Ashik Awan, in a tweet today. She said the Prime Minister directed the authorities concerned to provide best medical treatment to Mohammad Nawaz Sharif according to the desire of his family members. Imran Khan also prayed and expressed good wishes for the health of Mohammad Nawaz Sharif. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, has urged Japan to play its role for the restoration of the fundamental human rights of the Kashmiri people in the Indian-occupied Kashmir. Talking to the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo, he briefed him about the worsening situation of human rights in occupied Kashmir. The president stressed the need for both the countries to work together more closely to enhance mutually beneficial relations, particularly in the fields of investment, trade, human resource development, and people-to-people contacts. Meanwhile, speaking at a working luncheon meeting hosted for him by the Japan-Pakistan Business Cooperation Committee in Tokyo today, the President, Dr. Arif Alvi, offered the Japanese companies to invest in the special economic zones to cater not only to the big Pakistani market as well as of the wider region. The President said Pakistan has a liberal investment policy and there are tremendous opportunities for the Japanese companies to take due advantage of the conducive environment. The head of the delegation of the Japan-Pakistan Business Cooperation Committee, Koichi Yachima, and the other business leaders acknowledged the economic credentials of Pakistan. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, has appreciated the efforts and contributions of the Pakistani diaspora in Japan in promoting the country's positive image. He was addressing the Pakistani community in Japan at the Embassy of Pakistan in Tokyo. The President said Pakistanis living in Japan have always contributed generously towards the national cause, irrespective of political affiliations. Terming the overseas Pakistanis as the country's greatest asset, he said the government is striving hard for the welfare and betterment of the overseas Pakistanis and to involve them fully in the national development efforts and have taken a number of steps in this regard. Pakistan and India are likely to sign an agreement pertaining to the opening of the Kartarpur corridor tomorrow. At the weekly news briefing in Islamabad today, the Foreign Office spokesperson Dr. Mohammad Faisal said it is our effort to get the agreement signed tomorrow. The spokesperson said a mechanism has been evolved for the visits of Yatris to Gurdwara Darbar Sahib. He said the Yatris will come in the morning and go back in the evening. Each visiting Yatri will have to pay $20 service charges. Alluding to the tension with India, the spokesperson said, "We have noticed that anti-Pakistan tirade of the BJP leadership is continuing as the electoral process in the Indian state of Haryana and Maharashtra advances." Condemning the Indian blatant human rights violations in occupied Kashmir, the Foreign Office spokesperson said the humanitarian nightmare in the Hill Valley is worsening with continued military lockdown and complete communications blockade. When asked about the Indian water aggression, the spokesperson said Pakistan will fight its case at an appropriate forum if its rights under the Indus Water Basin Treaty were challenged. This is Radio Pakistan. The Federal Minister for Economic Affairs, Hamad Azhar, says Pakistan is committed to complete all the points in the action plan of the Financial Action Task Force by next year. Addressing a news conference in Islamabad today, he said Pakistan's progress has been duly recognized in September report of the organization. Hamad Azhar said the country has made significant progress on many points of the action plan of the Financial Action Task Force in a short period of 10 months. He said the performance of Pakistan was largely appreciated at the plenary session. At the United Nations, Pakistan says India's false and malevolent claims of having destroyed 3 alleged camps across the line of control in the disputed Kashmir region were proved to be sheer lies when Pakistan took foreign diplomats to the area yesterday. Pakistan outgoing ambassador to the United Nations, Dr. Maliha Lodhi, said this during a meeting with the Under Secretary General for Political Affairs, Rosemarie DiCarlo, in New York. She said the Indian High Commission in Islamabad was formally invited to join the trip. However, they did not take up the offer, sensing that their claims would be exposed. The advisor on commerce, Abdulrazak Daud, has asked the German companies to take advantage of the investment opportunities in the special economic zones. He was talking to the German ambassador Bernhard Schlagegg in Islamabad today. The advisor thanked for the German support to Pakistan in acquiring the GSP Plus status and greater access to the European markets. The German ambassador said Pakistan and Germany enjoy excellent trade relations. He said the German companies will be apprised about the investment opportunities in Pakistan, and soon a delegation of the German businessmen will visit the country. The Saudi King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud has hailed the efforts of Prime Minister Imran Khan for the enhancement of bilateral cooperation and regional peace. Chairing the meeting of the cabinet in Riyadh, he briefed the participants about the results of his meeting with the Prime Minister Imran Khan. The meeting also reviewed prospects of bilateral cooperation and discussed international efforts towards the latest regional and international developments. In occupied Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference, describing the recent statement of the governor of the territory, Satyapal Malik, as ridiculous, has said the sacrifices of the Hurriyat leaders and the kith and kin for the Kashmir cause remain unparalleled as well as unforgettable. According to Kashmir Media Service, an APHC spokesman, in a statement issued in Srinagar today, said the intention of the governor was to defame the Hurriyat leadership and discredit them in the eyes of the general masses. A fresh round of intra-Afghan peace talks will be held in China next week. In a statement, the Taliban spokesman Sohail Shaheen said the talks planned for the 28th and 29th of this month will be the first meeting between the Taliban and prominent Afghans hailing from Kabul since the previous round of talks held in Doha, Qatar in July. Meanwhile, the American State Department said Washington's special envoy on Afghanistan, Zalmay Khalilzad, has started a fresh round of talks with the European, NATO, and United Nations allies about ending the war in Afghanistan. And now cricket. In the second semi-final of the National T20 Cup against Balochistan at Faisalabad, the Southern Punjab team were 45 runs for the loss of 1 wicket in 4.5 overs a short while ago. Earlier, Balochistan won the toss and elected to field first. Meanwhile, in the first semi-final of the National T20 Cup, the northern team defeated Khyber Pakhtunkhwa by 3 runs. The final of the mega event will be played tomorrow. And finally, the weather. Mainly dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, cloudy weather conditions with rain, thunderstorm, and light snowfall over high mountainous areas is expected at a few places in Gilgit-Baltistan. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.